The Commonwealth Union discussing the way forward with members last evening. The city of Freeport getting some renovations. And ZNS Northern Service doing its part to assist in the back-to-school efforts.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Commonwealth Union of Hotel Services and Allied Workers holding a meeting for members last evening at the Taxi Union Hall. Tonight, Sabrina Brown tells us that topping the agenda was the government's decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort.
Scores of union members attending the meeting to hear more on the way forward as the government proceeds with plans to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort. President Michelle Dorset says the announcement by the nation's leader was good news for the Commonwealth Union.
I'm relieved. It was long years, very long years in Grand Bahama, 2004. You know, we was actually really in draft. Draft straight through. But God is good, We have faith, we have courage, and that's what the meeting's about, faith and courage. And I'm just bringing my members up, between us because it's a packed house. They are standing firm, standing united to listen to what has to be delivered, and they are very, very happy.
Dorset says although many believe the government should not get back into the hotel business, she applauds the Minister administration for taking this bold step to keep hundreds of Grand Bahamians employed.
They don't want to be involved in the hotel field, which we know that, but this is no other choice right now for the best interest of the country. Bahama needs something. It's a beautiful resort, and we just need the right set of people to run the resort.
The members were brought up to date on various matters, but the main concern was the payment of benefits once the property is sold.
It's their benefits. We negotiated their benefits. And we have to educate our members on benefits, and their benefits will be given to them. Whatever is owed to them will be given to them, and their rights will not be taken away. Whatever is owed to them, they'll be paid. But I just want to be patient, as always, because I'm a patient person.
The asking price for the beachfront property is $65 million. The government has allocated some funds for the Grand Lucayan deal in the recent budget. The government plans to acquire the hotel property using a mortgage purchase agreement and will continue to look for a buyer. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
An executive of one of the country's largest unions is also weighing in on the government's decision to purchase the Grand Lucayan Resort. Area Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Quinton LaRota, says that he's been in discussions with other union leaders on the matter, and although he does not think a government should run hotels, in this instance, he believes it is necessary.
We're at the point where we feel that the workers and the Grand economy needs a certain amount of relief desperately, and that the government should do what it can, even if it's a short-term plan, to try to get that hotel open. I feel that tourism has been our #1 industry forever. We have a lot of experts in the tourism field and the hotel management field, so we have to be able, no one can convince me that we don't have Bahamians that are capable of managing a hotel, even if it's a group of board or directors or managers that are away from the political scene, because political influence is one of the reasons why some of these hotels weren't the success that they were.
He says the labor movement has another concern about the high fees at the island's ports of entry.
The port fees and the docking fees are far too high. And so if the government is to go and invest this money into the hotel, we still need a reduction in those fees to encourage carriers to bring the tourists here. Because there's make no sense to spend that money invest in the hotel and you don't address the issue of airlifts and lifts coming by cruise ships into Grand Bahama. And what needs to happen, in our view, is a reduction of those fees. We need to become more friendly to the airlines and to the cruise ships so that they could come in and bring the tourists. We look at Nassau, where indeed you go to Nassau, 5 to 7 to 9 ships in the harbor, and sometimes in Grand Bahama, which is a city, you have a day with no ships.
Now, the Grand Bahama Port Authority conducting road works throughout the city of Freeport, all in an effort to maintain the beauty of the city and make the daily commute much smoother for residents. Tonight, an executive of the GBPA is highlighting the key areas that will be transformed in the upcoming months. You may have noticed improved roads throughout some communities in the city of Freeport recently. Deputy Director and City Manager at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Troy McIntosh, says that they are continually carrying out projects to improve the city.
We do get complaints from time to time, but what we do is be proactive in the process, where we go out and we do assessments of all of our roads in Freeport, so we know which ones are worse, which ones are falling apart, and which ones we need to immediately pay attention to. And so on an annual basis, we do inspections for all of our infrastructure, and a lot of them are then scheduled on an annual basis to be repaired, because obviously for financial reasons we can't do them all at the same time.
So far, Luna Boulevard has been completed, and Bahama Reef Boulevard is expected to be completed by Friday, August 17th. McIntosh says that there are still more areas to be addressed.
From here, we're going to be doing West Mall, between Adventures and Ponciana Drive. After that, we have Fishing Hole Road, which we've gotten a lot of complaints, but we have to leave that for last because there's a lot of coordination with that. We got to get the police involved. We're going to be doing some work for the traffic lights in that intersection, and then we also had to coordinate with the water company. And so we wanted to leave that for the last to do before our fiscal budget ends.
The industrial sector will also be a part of the beautification project.
So coincide, we're going to extend the verge by 2 feet. We know that cars sometimes pull over. We're going to then put in 5 laybys, we call them bus stops. We can accommodate between 2 and 3 vehicles for emergency cases. But in the event that you're not by one of those laybys, you can still pull off the road. And at the same time, for tourists and other persons visiting the island, the area looks maintained, it looks upkeep, like it's being upkept by the Port Authority and our responsibility. And so you'll see that, you'll see sable palms, you'll see a nice manicured verge area once it's seeded and the seed germinates. And so those things we thought were necessary. This is for the north side. And then in the future, we'll look at the south side of the road as well.
McIntosh is admonishing residents to exercise caution as they traverse areas undergoing construction.
While we're working, the necessary signs out for persons to drive with due care and attention and to slow down. You have workers in the area. We want to make sure persons understand what's going on. Obey the flagman, which will direct you to safe passage through the work area. And again, we're doing it for the improvement of the drivers and obviously the environment and the community.
He adds that additional projects are in the works, including more lighting in high traffic areas. Schools in the Freeport area, the focus of the second leg of the Minister of Education's tour of Grand Bahama schools yesterday. Italia Hall has the details.
The Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, visited 2 schools in Freeport during part 2 of the tour. He confirmed that this year there is no shortage of teachers in the northern Bahamas. He says at the Walter Parker Primary School, there are some structural concerns that will be addressed immediately.
We have issues with regard to beams and columns. Not so much the columns, but certainly the beams. And we've got to do some major structural adjustments and improvements so that we arrest the decline in safety standards here at the schools. I have been assured by the contractor and the engineers that the environment of the repairs will be secured so that the children's attendance here at school will not be interfered with or interrupted in any way.
But he says Freeport Primary is in a better situation.
I'm very impressed with the work Mr. Ritchie is doing. He himself has taken the initiative in continuing the maintenance of his institution. That is very commendable, and I'm very happy and proud of that. The concerns that we have there is that there's an opportunity, I believe, for us to be able to expand that school by way of offering preschool education to approximately 20 students. And we want to kind of get on that work as soon as school commences. So as you know, that school sits a little bit on top of a hill, and there's a slope that goes down toward the bathroom and other classroom areas. We are going to have to install a drain system because the water settles, and that poses a safety challenge for the students. That will be addressed.
He says across the country there are small repair issues like plumbing, electrical, and roofing matters that are common. Government schools on the island like St. George's High School, Jack Hayward High School, and Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School do not have any major challenges. But the minister admits that the way school repairs are handled in the public school system is not working.
It's not going to work. We have to have a year-round school maintenance program. And I'm talking about a formalized program. Some of the principals are taking it on their own as an initiative. I'm not talking about that. I commend them for that. I am very grateful and I'm proud of them. What I'm talking about is providing a formalized school maintenance program year-round so that those minor incidences that occur, as they will occur throughout the school year, can be addressed as they occur. And the major work, such as the beams or the columns, can be done during the summertime.
The Minister of Education says he will be back on Grand Bahamas soon to speak with the teachers from the various schools to share the vision of the ministry. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks, Italia. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news right after this break.